Good afternoon from the cold Gold Coast. Just want to have a little yarn today. Just about settling for a life that we're not very happy with or content with, or we're not secure with what we're doing. It's important to be like that in a life. It's easy to think that we can focus on the way we feel all the time and give descriptions of it's a tough life and people have got it better than me. I can't get what I want in this life. Other people are different. That's why they're living the life that I would like to live. That just keeps you locked in to that life that you really don't want to live, but you put up with it. And it's like a pig in mud, or a pig in shit. To be happy with the unhappy life is really serving humans a disjustice in their abilities and their capabilities within themselves to move out of or change what they're not happy about. And I'll just add on to that again, focusing on other people or circumstances or your past, as you're not like that, I can't do this, I will never be what that person is, or what the dream is, or the desire is, or the goal is within you. It's absolutely not true. It's a self-defeating attitude within us that keeps us stuck in that lifestyle that we're not happy with. And I talk from a position of once living that lifestyle that I wasn't happy with. I lived in jail all my life. I was a heroin addict. I blamed everybody for everything in my life. I had a bad attitude. I was sarcastic. I was cynical. Always critical. I had a really low self-esteem. So what I did to get out of that is I finally arrived at a juncture in my life where I realised that I could get out of it. And I was unhappy in my previous life, and I was angry. I was really angry. And I think the anger and the unhappiness, that was part of the protocol that gave me the leverage to get out of the life I was living. If I wasn't pissed off at it, or if I wasn't not unsettled in it, then I'd probably still be in it. But I was fortunate to have these emotions in me that bucked against it. So, if you're living a life that you're not happy with at the moment, well, that's a good thing, because that's going to give you an opportunity if the shot comes along for you to move out of it. What come along for me, I was shown how to cope with my internal feelings and my thoughts, and that gave me the leverage to get out of it. And that was about, for me, I was blaming other people all the time. I didn't take any accountability for myself. I was always the victim. Oh my God, wasn't I the victim? Really cynical, unsure, doubtful. Yeah, I couldn't have got out of it if I didn't find that opportunity in rehab where I started learning to talk about my feelings and emotions and my thoughts, and that was really scary. But again, I used my past life as leverage to allow myself to talk about my feelings and my thoughts and be open about my internal dialogue. And yeah, I was able to start moving out of it because I was unhappy with it. I didn't like it. I hated it. I hated going to jail all the time. I hated being disempowered, going back to heroin all the time. I didn't like myself. Yeah, I didn't like it. So that gave me the leverage to get out. So identifying that you're living a life that you're not happy with is a good thing. Doing something about it is another thing. To get out of a lifestyle that you're not happy with, the first thing you got to do to get out of that lifestyle is you need to take stock of it. You need to admit that this is the lifestyle that I don't like. And you got to pretty much understand, I don't want to sound too preachy, that you have put yourself in that lifestyle through your behaviours and through your attitudes and through your actions and what you've done in your life. Nobody keeps you in unhappiness. We all keep ourselves in unhappiness by being unhappy in bad situations. We can all be unhappy in bad situations, but again, that's not really living. True living is having the courage to change it and do things that you haven't done before. If you haven't worked, or if you haven't got a job, go and get a job. Look for a job. Don't make excuses. It's going to take work to get out of something you're not happy with. Go and work. And if you don't want to work, well, you're not prepared to put the effort in, because a part of moving out of situations where it's really unfulfilled, you've got to get out of yourself. You must get out of yourself. And if you've got too much time on your hands, you're probably not going to get out of yourself. If you're unemployed, if you're sitting around all day, if you do nothing, if you're on social all the time, if you've got no goals, if you've got no aspirations, if you're blaming people all the time, if you're wallowing or if you're wailing, and if you're just talking, if there's no action, nothing's going to happen. Create a life through activity, through actions, taking risks. Get a job. If you're not happy with the people around you, just go out and get new friends. If you're not happy with your social life, change that. If you're not happy with the way you look, go to the gym. If you're not happy with not achieving things, work towards achieving things like travelling or getting a new car, furniture, getting a house. You've got to do things that you haven't done before. One of the biggest holes that people fall in is inaction, is not doing anything about the unhappiness that they're living in. You come up with all these reasons. Oh, I can't get a job. I can't mix with people that I haven't mixed with in the past, or I don't know, or I can't go to university, or I can't go back and learn things. There could be 100 reasons you can come up with not to do or get out of a lifestyle that you're not happy with, and that's going to keep you there. So it's really important that the way to break a lifestyle that you're not happy with and you want to change, you got to do something about it. You've got to make the action. You've got to put in that hard work to change that. And if you're not prepared to do that, you're gonna have to stay there. And it's so easy to, look at people that are doing well and think, oh, they're lucky, and why them and why not me? That is BS. You wouldn't have a clue what those people had to do to get it. They might, they worked hard. They did something that you're not doing. So you've got to do things that you haven't previously done. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. Action is what it's about. If you don't act to create a different life than the lifestyle that you live in, you're never going to change it. So keep that in mind. You've got to act, and you've got to do things that you don't want to do. And it's going to be scary. You're going to have to step out. You're going to have to put yourself in a situation where it is really, really unfamiliar. You got to feel vulnerable. You got to feel unsure. You got to feel you don't know what's going to happen. You got to leave the past behind to move forward. And if you don't leave the past behind, you're going to stay where you are. You can leave the past behind if you're prepared to take stock of yourself and understand that you have kept yourself in the situation that you're in by inaction. And I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm not saying it's because it is hard, but you might have had enough of this life or the situation where you're not happy with. I think you've got to come to a point also where you've just had enough of it. You're sick to death of it. And you've got to search, talk to people that you haven't talked to before, talk to counsellors, ring, helplines up, talk to people about your unhappiness. Don't settle. If you settle, that's what you're going to create. It's as simple as that. If you settle, that's it. Nothing's going to happen. Be rattled. Because to get out of it, you're going to have to feel rattled. You're going to have to feel unsure. You're going to have to feel that you don't know what's around the corner. It's unfamiliar. It's important to understand, to get out of things that you're not happy with, you've got to go to places that you've never been before. And that's okay. You can survive. You can make it. Go into places where you haven't been before. There's an element of trust that comes in there, when you step out into areas that you haven't been. But it's in that you give yourself the opportunity to get out of things that you're not happy with. So I just thought I'd hit on that today about living a life where you give yourself an opportunity to create a life where you're living a life according to what you really desire, what your dreams are. Not being stuck in a situation where, oh, I can't do this, I wasn't brought up that way, I'm at a disadvantage, I haven't got the education to do this, I'm not as smart as these people. It is all bullshit. You are. You are no different to anyone else in this world. You have the same opportunities as anybody else in this world to create something better than the way you're living. So have a good Tuesday and look after yourselves, and I'll be back. Take care. God bless us all.